The shift normally starts at 7 a.m. for the DC Fire and EMS members, but much of the crew is at work at 4:30 to make sure that they are ready for that first call.
One thing, I always leave my work boots in my locker because go on medical calls, you step in blood and all that other nasty stuff, so you don't really want to bring that stuff to your house. So usually just bring a pair of sneakers in and leaving those also. First, when we come in the morning, we relieve the person that was riding the truck. First thing we do is take our personal accountability tag, clip it on the board in the piece, which shows that you are actually riding that piece for the tour. We remove the other member's gear, try to put it back in his locker. If he's a member of the house, we always want to put it back in his locker instead of just leaving it in the middle of the floor. Then the important thing is we check our air packs. The SCBA keeps us alive in the smoke-filled and heat-filled environment, so it's very important that we make sure it works every day and we make sure we have air in the cylinder and everything's working properly. Place our gear on the rig. As you can see, it's in a position where if an alarm comes in, we can just hop on the piece, we get fully dressed and respond to the call.
Welcome to the farm, home of 26 engine and truck 15. Lieutenant Craig Duck and firefighter Eric Polaric cleaned the kitchen.
This is why firemen die of heart attacks. Get all this grease. Oh man, got you, man.
You and firemen get that stuff on fire.
My name is Eric Polaric. I'm a fireman with the Washington, D.C. Fire Department. I got hired October of 2006. I've been assigned here ever since I got out of the academy, and I'm having a great time. The reason I became a fireman was because my father has been a fireman for about 35 years now. He's a volunteer in New Jersey, where I'm from. Basically, I grew up around the firehouse. I grew up in the fire department culture, and I always knew, ever since I was a little kid, that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Every morning at 7 o'clock when we get in, we're responsible for checking all the equipment on the truck, making sure everything works properly. The fire ground's a really bad place to find out that a piece of equipment's not working properly. So every morning we check all of our equipment to make sure everything's in working order.
JB Barnes. I'm the truck driver on Truck 15, number 1 platoon. I'm currently been assigned to Truck 15 for approximately, it'll be 18 years on March 12th of 2008. And actually I've been assigned to Truck 15 pretty much my whole career.
This is a metal cutting saw right here. It's got a 14-inch blade. It's an aluminum oxide blade, which is good for cutting metal. We use it to remove security bars off of windows, to force metal doors, pretty much anything that you may need to cut metal with. This blade, this is perfect for. It's a K950 partner saw. This has a carbide tip blade, which is mainly good for cutting wood. You could also cut roofing material with it as well. It's one of the things we might bring with us up on a roof if we're going to ventilate vertically. More than 3 teeth are broken on the blade, we usually change it out. One of the carbide tips are broken. That's chipped, that's no good. There's about 2 more blades on this particular saw that are broken right now also, so we're gonna put a fresh blade on so it works right.
Good morning. We were just checking out the generator here. On most trucks in Washington, D.C., we have 2 generators, an onboard and a portable. Well, when things get bad, we can just pull the portable off and use it. But unfortunately, in this case, our onboard generator is out of service, which means it's not working. So we're using a portable generator. And what better time to check it is this morning when you're checking over all your equipment to make sure everything works.
Blade's been changed. Now I'm going to fire up the saw, make sure the blade's balanced properly and it spins good. The compartments on the truck we try to configure them for ease of the riding position, which side of the truck the compartments are on. For instance, this is the hookman side. The hookman's responsibility if we go to a fire is to throw a ground ladder with the officer, perform some outside ventilation, maybe break some windows out and things like that. And also a big thing, we're in the inner city here, a lot of people have security bars on their windows. So if there's a fire on the first floor and there's security bars on the windows, we need to remove those security bars in case, God forbid, our guys are operating inside, something happens, they try to jump out of the window and they can't. This is called the WASA. It's for metro operations. I guess you could say like a subway system or mass transit trains. This piece of equipment is hooked up to the metro rails, the running rails and the third rail to ensure that the power is off. So we're operating in a safe atmosphere. You place it down on the ground. You remove paddles. It's all connected. You flip it over and it activates it. You hear that annoying alarm going off. If there's no power going through, the alarm's not going to go off. And then if the power does turn on and it becomes an unsafe atmosphere, you're going to have the alarm go off, and also this light is going to flash as so you have an audible and visual warning device. This is our Metro bag. Every company should have a Metro bag here in DC. It just comes equipped with you have mass casualty tape. This way, if you have a numerous amount of patients, you can kind of triage them, and the different colors here mean that a patient's either critical or not critical, and we treat them based on how they're triaged. This is a hot stick. It's you want to use this before you put the WASA on the metro rail to make sure that the power is out. This is similar to a voltage meter, I guess you could say. It's another little volt probe. Like I said, the biggest hazard for us when we're operating at a metro scene is to make sure that the electricity's cut and you're not going to get electrocuted by the third rail. Every truck company in Washington, D.C. has a RIT bag. If a firefighter is on scene and they get lost, missing, or trapped, then we need to go in there and find them. When people get lost, missing, and trapped on a fire, one of the biggest concerns is air. If your face piece becomes dislodged, if your bottle's empty, this bag over here has a cylinder on it with numerous different connections and fittings. We have this over here, which comes with another face piece, just in case, God forbid, the person's face piece has become broken or shattered or something, or the regulators malfunction or something. We can replace their whole face piece, we could replace the regulator, or we could hook this up to one of their, it's called a buddy breathing line that the SCBAs are all equipped with.
Finally, a call. Truck 15 responds to an automatic fire alarm that is activated at a nearby hospital.
For an automatic fire alarm to Providence Hospital, but it turned out to be nothing.
All right. Another day at the office.
When I got out of the academy, I got assigned to Truck Company 15, where I'm at right now. Like I said, I've been in the firehouse actually just over a year now. About a couple months ago, we had a shooting right next door to the firehouse where 3 young teenagers were unfortunately shot. One of them was fatally wounded, but it happened literally right next door to the firehouse. We were all here having a good time playing ping pong and talking and drilling like we always do. And we heard some gunshots, grabbed our medical bags, ran out. The police department was already on scene. We got there and we saw 3 victims laying on the ground and triaged them all and treated them as best as we could.
Truck 15 responds for a home medical alert notification.
Life of being on Truck 15. This is what we do. Medicals, locals, definitely boxes.
The patient is loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital.
Typical asthmatic, trouble breathing, and transported to the nearest hospital. Mechanical air was code 2, which was not a really bad, but it's bad enough. So typical asthmatic, trouble breathing.
My name is Craig Duck. I'm a lieutenant with the District of Columbia Fire and EMS Department, currently assigned to Truck Company 15. Well, I became a firefighter because, like all little kids, I decided that I wanted to ride the big red shiny fire truck, and so I have opportunity to do that one day. Up here is totally different than Engine 10. It's more of a bedroom community, more 2- and 3-story Victorian type houses, that sort of stuff. So the fires, when they do come up here, tend to be a little bit bigger. You have an older community, so we run a lot of diabetic calls. It's just a totally different flavor.
Truck 15 responds for a medical local. En route, the driver is tested with heavy traffic volumes and tight construction areas.
Generally not feeling good, has physical and mental disabilities. Patient was actually pretty okay. He was alert and oriented, just he has medical complications, so a small problem can in turn easily turn into a big problem. So when something goes wrong, a lot of these families call for an ambulance, have them run over to the hospital. So.
And one thing I enjoyed coming here the first time is there had always been a bunch of officers that came through here that didn't train, didn't drill, and so the company here didn't have a very good reputation. And so I enjoyed, after 4 or 5 years working with the fellows and playing, exercising with them and drilling every day, that we were able to turn that around and become a really effective company. And
A call comes in during the interview.